I just did it. Here you go. You're supposed to do that before or after a run, because on a new game run, you can see it beforehand. But on New Game Plus, you have to actually show it manually. When are second round submissions? May 18th to the 25th. So they open 2 weeks from today. All right, let's do another run. I'll try to do more commentary for this one so I can like
begin the run.
Demonstrate it as a speed run. So this is Bears in Space. It is a cursed little title from Broadside Games and their first one. There's been a whoopsie. So that is called journal buffering, and we're gonna do that all over this run. I'm not doing anything. Well, I mean, it's sort of expected for you to do commentary if you go to a GDQ. If you sit there and say nothing, then the host has to interject a lot, and they try to tell the host not to do that unless it's like necessary.
Hey,
we'll buffer all over the place. It's gonna get gross in here.
It's just one mission away from retirement. After the
Yeah, this first opening, so if this actually gets into an event, what I'll end up doing is playing this level pretty vanilla, no skips or anything, just to show the game off a little bit, and then we'll start doing a bunch of skips starting mission 2, just because the skips in this level don't really save a lot of time, except for the very, very last one going into the end level trigger.
But I exposed to you, Trevor.
You have a chatty couch you can talk about. It's true. I've got like 12 people I want to have on the couch for this run, and I don't know who to pick because I'm like, there's so many people I want to have on the couch, and I have to make choices because I can't have everybody I want.
Hey Max, we and now blah 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 blah.
People talk less for the line of couch. Yeah, that's for like runs that really require a lot of focus, or if you have commentators that are just really good at commentating, you might let them steer the ship a little bit while you do the run.
You have appreciate.
Max, you can have on a couch 3. If you have 4 on a couch, then the runner would not be mic'd. But you can, they have 4 mics total. And that is all. There's no exceptions.
It's me, but you can that end of we can let's take.
So like they'll have it where like they'll do a race of 4 people, and then they'll have like 2 commentators, and so they'll only mic up the commentators, and the racers won't actually be mic'd. It has to do with how GDQ has their technical setup done. Dang it, I tried to buffer here and I missed it.
What the? I kill it. Just use the melee button to take it out, Maxie. Phew, that was a close one, Max. Let's make our way to the
Launch that bitch into Sunday.
Dang it. Here, take that quickly. It was either no time to waste. Looks like we're gonna have to fight our way through to the drop pod. Phew, we made it, Maxie. It got a bit hairy for a second, but I think we're in the clear now.
And it's also, they only have space on the overlay for
Nope. Okay.
4-4. Like, they don't have room for any more than that, so that's a big part of it. Nice. So here, we're trying to die as quickly as possible because you don't actually get anything for doing this level all the way through, and dying is faster. So I'm trying to get into position to die as quickly as possible. And there's a
Oh, losing time.
tiny bit of RNG in that, and when those ships come out of the ceiling, but not a lot.
All right.
So now we're gonna start doing real skips. So a lot of this opening section is, whoop, darn, the movement mechanics tutorial, which I'm apparently screwing up.
We can double jump.
So you're supposed to be able to jump on those rocks and get up here a little faster. Not a big deal, but I will try to get that at the actual event. Just saying. All right, so here's gonna be our first real journal hover.
Oh, look at that big building, Max.
We're gonna float
I reckon Bear
over
fact
the whole
number
arena.
5. Acid legs hurt you. Avoid them.
And we are now out of bounds. So I think for this, I'm gonna actually, for New Game Plus, I'm gonna do the SFG boost. So this weapon has a lot of kick to it. Whoops. You have to go around. Hello? Hello? Okay, I'm not sure what I got stuck on there, but I guess we're going this way. Oh, come on. All to get over here. Like, literally just to get over here. I'll have to figure out what I got stuck on there and work around that. All right, so we are now at the end of the level. Now we can skip the last fight if I don't goof this up. Which I did, so we're gonna have to do the fight. I'm really getting annoyed with missing that because I don't know what's causing me to miss it. But I'll show you exactly what happens if you hit that, because it'll happen in a second after this fight's over. If I actually missed this at the event, this is a great time to read off a couple donations. All right, so if you hit the trigger in the ceiling like you're supposed to, this cutscene starts early. But I keep missing it for some reason. I'm not sure why.
My damn intuition is telling me that this will take us to the travel agent.
That weird movement out of bounds cost me some time. We're now behind. No.
Oh, losing time.
I have a $5 donation from Balake saying some random pun. All right, so now we're in outskirts. We may have to play this beginning section a little bit over and over, but
Well, isn't that convenient? We'll catch that back to Earth.
we're gonna go for
Whoa, is that a grenade?
journal hover here. That gets us up on this ledge. That skips a fight and some
Well,
hallway
I don't-
navigation.
and that's a Spendly guarantee. Spendly guarantees don't actually cover anything at all. Generally, but be considered as a cheap marketing tool.
So that is the merchant for the game. He will sell us weapon upgrades, which we are already maxed out on because this is New Game Plus. And at 80%, we basically don't buy any upgrades because that would cost money, and getting money is slow. All right, so we're going to clear this fight out real quick. Now, this is going to be a journal hover, but we're going to use photo mode for it.
Oh, gee, what's that you say? You need to get through this here
And this gets
door?
us out of bounds,
I'm not supposed
and we are going
to
to
let
float to the end of the level from here. You can do that with the journal, but it is much harder to do it with the journal. Doing it with photo mode is much easier. For that one specifically. I'm not sure why that one's so much easier with photo mode, but it is, and it's not that much slower, so. $15, we have a $15 donation from Dane. Had to donate during this amazing run. Good luck on the runs. From moi? During the run? Silly. All right, now if I actually time this out correctly, I should be able to hit the spot I need to get to without taking extra time in midair. So I'm going to start here.
You have
If you
I waited too long again. So we have to drop down to land on this rocket right in my crosshair, because this is going to carry us into the end level trigger. There is a chance that we could possibly land in the end level trigger directly without riding the rocket into it, but I haven't worked out how to do that yet, and yeah, we may have it figured out by the time we get to the event. Not sure.
Gold split.
Good stuff. All right, so we're gonna do a journal buffer here.
That's a damn. Thanks.
Now that's gonna get us the ability to hit this button early, because we have to wait for this elevator. If we can hit that button early, that's a nice little time save. Now, in any percent, we'd have to go get the binary gun, but since this is New Game Plus, we already have it, so we are going to head right to the exit. Ooh, that was weird. I hit a ceiling somehow and lost my height. So yeah, you have a finite number of dialogue pieces where you can manipulate your float. Why does this happen? We have no idea. We have no idea. I don't even think the devs know why this happens. It's just one of those things. But if you open the journal as soon as you enter a cutscene, you just can move around. And then if you press space during that sequence, you fly until you hit a ceiling of some kind. All right, this should be good. Yeah. So we are landing in this hallway right here. Now in you can actually fly right into the end level trigger, and in any percent we do, but in New Game Plus it's actually faster to land here and do the fight. Strange as that may seem, but it's because we have the Pyrite gun, which was originally created as a developer tool for debugging, and then they made it an actual weapon in the game that costs 300,000 Vic bucks, which is a lot. So I'm gonna wait for him to stop bouncing and then take my shot, and there we go. That's the fight. Does it depend on the game engine? It's Unreal. It's Unreal Engine, so I don't know. I don't know.
Gold split.
And that is how much. That's how significant that skip is. All right, so now we are on the Warden, and we have a skip for this fight as well. If you think it's a journal hover, you're right.
Hey, be warned. I'm not in a position to have my...
There we go. Saw the flying journal hover. Oh, they'd known about it since the beginning. They thought it was hilarious. Ooh, almost. Yeah, if you stand too close to the door during this elevator, you will actually clip out of bounds and you can't get back in. You're soft locked. All right.
Behold! Word of your terror has reached my ears.
Do a journal
The
hover
time
to
of your
get
reckoning
here.
is now.
Now, this is a little finicky, and I might goof this up, and I might have to reload checkpoint, but I'm going to try to get it if I can. You have to float into this tower, over this wall. Come on. Okay, this should be good. This is slightly slower than optimal, but we're moving downward, which is what we need. This is I'm losing speed. That's bad. Okay, this will work, but it's not optimal. For some reason, there's some randomness to how much speed you get when you hit that tower. I'm not sure why, but we needed to float out of bounds and get over here in order to get underneath this acid floor thing. And we're going to start floating down here. Now we are underneath the kill trigger that warps us back in bounds. And this is, by the way, the Warden right here. He arises from underneath the level. And then we're going to click, warp back in, and we hit the end level trigger. Nice and easy.
Gold split.
Even with it being slower, that was still a gold split. Let's go. Now, the dungeon is normally like a 16 to 18 minute level. By the way, that you're supposed to do some platforming there, but if you just hold down the forward button and double jump, you can just skip it. It's not even really a skip. It's just like you can just get around that. So we have to do a fight here. Got him. All right, that's everybody. Now we're going to do a journal hover off of this guy's dialogue right here.
I hear it needs some help getting out.
We're going to bonk off the ceiling there to land here. And then we're going to go through this doorway. This is a tricky because I have to navigate this without being able to see where I'm going. And as you can see, it's a little tough to do that. But we were doing that to get back into the room we started in, which is here. We're now going to float.
A cake,
Hello, Dr.
some
Phineas.
lockpicks, and leave them on the table.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Have to float a little longer. And now there's, at some point, this wall loses collision and we can float over the top of it. And now
I'd start by going
I'm going to
through
stop
all those
floating by left clicking because you can either space or left click to skip dialogue. If you hit space, you'll start to float. If you left click, you'll stop floating. We actually use that to manipulate our height in a lot of ways. Now I'm going to, oop, I went too far. Could have done this sooner. And then we're going to land right about here. There it is. That's the end level trigger. Lost a little time there because I spent longer in the air than I needed to. I was so focused on explaining it, I goofed that up. All right, Bottingham. This is going to be our biggest journal hover yet. Not the biggest in the run, but the biggest one as of yet. So first things we have is we have a boss fight, but with the pyrite gun we can finish that in one shot if we can get him before he puts a shield up. I should hit this button, but first and then go back to Vic. Save a little time. Yeah, he's gonna put a shield up as soon as the fight starts. I'm gonna try and get a shot in before he does and finish the fight instantly.
Oh, hey. After they found.
So this is one of the guys from the opening cutscene. By the way.
Killer, never trust a robot.
There we go. I'm always worried I'm gonna miss that shot.
You hit side grip. No, this is.
All right, so we skip that dialogue and then we are outside. All right, so now I'm going to do another photo mode buffer here. There we go.
Hey, you two. Good to see you made your way. There's a
All
town
right,
just ahead.
so
Let's
what's
check
going
it
on
out.
with that is
Although
when
I
you're in
must
photo
warn you,
mode, time
they've
freezes.
gone a
But for
little
whatever
mad
reason,
with
if you
some
hit
fad.
U and X at the same time, you will unfreeze time and time will move forward and then you can move around in photo mode. And that allows us to walk into the trigger and then we can start doing these hovers. So we're gonna float over here. Keep kind of a visual eye on how much distance I need. Okay, should be good right about here.
Now let's
Okay, and we have to land over on this side. This is good. Land right here, and then jump back in bounds.
Hey, have y'all?
My
Great. We
And
have
then this-
No need.
Gets us onto this, which is the end level trigger. I'm submitting both. Any percent and New Game Plus. And that is Bottingham.
Gold split.
Good stuff. All right, Bot Day. This level's been trolling me lately, so let's hope it doesn't this time. Because there's some platforming to do at the beginning, and I keep screwing it up. Once we get out of bounds, it's easy, but getting out of bounds is a little bit of a pain sometimes. Because sometimes enemies will hit you and knock you around a bit, which is not good for when you're trying to do some precision platforming. All right. So we're gonna do these jump dashes as much as possible. We're gonna jump up here, jump up here, jump up here, climb up this, and that gets us out of bounds. We're gonna have to do a couple dash jumps to get over here. Now, yep, there's some really weird collision on this hill. There's like invisible walls and stuff, so I have to like kind of crouch and jump at the same time. It's very weird. Now this is the spot that's like kind of the biggest time loss in this, because if I need to land on some piece of collision to, there we go, get over it, and it's kind of hard to tell where it is. All right. So now we're gonna navigate over here. And you might be asking, how am I like warping myself forward so much? So you have dash and you have jump. The dash is on a timer. So basically there's no like, oh, you have to land before you can dash again, like in a lot of games. In this game, it's just literally as soon as the timer's expired, you can dash again. This is kind of nice because it allows us to just continuously dash in midair over and over and over once we've kind of hit the time requirement. But if you're going uphill and you keep jumping and dashing, your dash will reset each time you land. And so when you go uphill, you can just kind of warp up quickly. All right, I'm gonna stop for ammo real quick. Now this is the best journal hover in the game.
Are you done exploring?
Because he asked us if we're done exploring. Picture this from his perspective. Are you done exploring? And we just float away. All right, so what we're gonna do is pause again right here.
Well,
Tell him no. We have to wait for the dialogue box to kind of cycle through, and then we're gonna land right here. We hit a checkpoint. Once it says game saved, we reload checkpoint, and then we are going to clip into the end level trigger again. Very simply, what we're gonna do is jump on this teacup, jump onto this, and that's the end of the game. Or the end of the level, excuse me. That's a gold split.
Gold split.
Let's go. All right, rolling bot. This is the level that will kill a lot of runs. So what I'm gonna do is hit a save trigger there.
I could have sworn the secret dojo entrance was.
Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a journal buffer,
This dojo is only for those who have worked hard to achieve their white head.
and we're gonna hold on to this journal buffer until we hit a trigger right here. Now, why this works, we do not know. But as soon as this little cutscene ends,
Welcome to the
we're gonna float away.
shown their
Before you can
faces
train
and
with us,
bravely entered
I
the
suggest you
arena.
look within
The
yourself
Suckets
to
on.
find your true strength.
We
Or you
all
can
I
just
hit
purchase a white head
something.
band.
Okay, there we go.
Fight begin!
So I'm gonna have to count this out. So it's right about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Do 20 dashes just for safety to make sure that I'm in the right spot. Because we need to land right here. This is where the end level trigger is. Gonna land right here. Ooh, nice, we got it. That is a tricky jump. I don't always get that jump, but I've been getting very lucky and hitting it first try a few times, so.
Oh, losing time.
Uh-oh, I shot my pyrite gun in the end level trigger. That's actually bad. All right. We're gonna do another journal buffer here.
Hey, Bottom, he lets you get into doors like the one behind me.
Now, this one's
Then
kind of
he
weird because
explains how it
sometimes
works.
the journal buffer will actually warp you back to where you
Girl, now come grab it.
to where you started,
For my best customer.
which is kind of a problem. So we have to manipulate his dialogue in a very kind of specific way to get through here, and then we can float right out of bounds. Now I'm going to miss this as an RNG minute, or definitely not because I'm bad. Okay, and we want to get to about here. We're gonna do a couple dashes to get across this gap, and then we're gonna land here. This jump can be kind of finicky. Yes. There we go. I'm gonna do some out of bounds navigation here. Now this is gonna skip most of the level to begin with. Now in any percent, we actually have to do a completely different route starting up ahead because we have to go out of our way to get the reflector item. But in New Game Plus, we already have it, so we can go straight to the end level sequence. Now, for safety's sake, I'm going to hit this trigger to take a checkpoint. Good thing I did. I screwed this up.
You could. Yep. I killed him, Max. Come in.
Okay, so we're going to try this again. That is why I took that checkpoint, because sometimes that happens. All right. There we go. All right, so once we have this journal hover,
Maxie and BT.
we're gonna float in here and then float away.
Had to muscle out the last guy, but I made sure he was fairly compensated. You could say he had an early retirement. Yep, won't be hearing from him no more. I killed him, Max. Come in and spend.
He killed him, Max. All right, so we're going to float. I always forget the exact spot to land. I will know this at the time of the event if this gets in, but I always forget exactly where I'm supposed to float to in this spot. It's going to be over here. There it is. I see it. Pretty sure this is it. I'm pretty sure. I'm mostly sure. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we are floating over here. We're gonna land here. We're gonna jump underneath and hit the trigger from out of bounds. That's gonna warp us inbounds. And then hit this button to end the game. Or end the level. God, I keep saying end the game. Dude, I'm saying that.
Gold split.
This is a healthy run right here. Holy moly. Alright. Train station terminal is a silly level. Okay, I have my ammo, so I guess I didn't shoot my pyrite gun initially. So this is the item that we would have been constructing last level in any percent. Luckily in New Game Plus, we already have it. So we're going to do this. Now, we normally have to do some platforming to get over there, but I'm going to... I always miss that jump. That jump is really tight on the timing. So this level's mostly a boss fight. So after you do this initial like platforming puzzle, it's mostly a boss fight. It's actually two boss fights, Cletus Part 1 and Part 2. But actually just about a week and a half ago, I found a skip for this. And yes, it's a journal hover. So going to start buffering right about here. And then we're going to get mugged by this couch. Oh, we float away. Showing off any dev buttons out of bounds. So there is a dev button in Mission 2 that we use in any percent. And then in Grobia, we actually use them as part of both the any percent and the New Game Plus route. So you'll get to see some dev buttons in a little bit. So Cletus is actually right to my left, right here, or slightly above me and to my left. We're gonna clear this green wall, and then they're gonna start the opening scene where Cletus kind of enters the arena. We just had to make sure we cleared that wall first, otherwise we would be in big trouble. All right, and then we are gonna land right about here and then dash to the left, and that's the end of the level.
Gold split.
So now we got another one of these levels. These ones are pretty easy to clear out. It's like literally just stay in one spot and then you'll die as quickly as possible, which is what you want.
Oh, losing time.
Hold on, Max. Let me put my gravity paws on.
So we've got some banging music in this level, and we've got a big skip. Not a big skip, but a skip. A lot of this particular level is actually done inbound. Okay, still good on ammo. Ooh. Yeah, some of this like infinite dash boosting is a little scary sometimes, because you can dash boost right off the edge of a platform, and that's a little scary. And wait for these platforms. Setting up a solution for a puzzle right here. I'm going to be very careful with these platforms because I've been falling off of them lately. There we go. Ooh, almost missed that. All right, so we got to do a fight here. Run wouldn't be any fun if you didn't have to do some combat, you know? Ooh, there we go. Grab that health just for safety because we are going to go into another big fight in a second. Please land on the boost pad. That's going to drop us right here. Going to refill my ammo real quick at the Vic station, and then we are heading into a big fight. So we're gonna go this way to start the fight, set the triggers and all that. But yeah, this is just combat. This is a good time for donations. Sweet. All right, we got another journal hover here.
You know you two got me fired after that last time I let you past. And it worked out great. I probably shouldn't let you... but I can't see any harm. Go on through.
All right, so that gets us over that gate. We're gonna skip some dialogue with this guy. $5 hyper train from George, Fred, Lisa, and Ralph. Ralph and Leo.
Sorry, someone.
So there's 3 things that we could do here in order to get to the end of the level, which is, by the way, severely locked down with a giant box of collision, which is why we have to do this. So we have to do one of 3 events that guy pointed us to. This is the fastest one, like not even close, by multiple minutes. It's faster, so we do this one because yeah. So this will be the first time I think in the run that we're gonna fight as Bertana.
Oh, Max, they've really got your number. Ew, why does it have so much fur? I never knew a bear could be so ugly. Now that's taking things too far. Time to teach these punks a lesson in deactivation.
So we turn into Bertana. And then every time you turn into Bertana in the game, because there's designated sections where that happens, every time you obtain a new power basically with her. Well, in New Game Plus, you start out with all of those powers enabled, so we already have some of these things that in 80% we wouldn't technically have here. Right, so round 1 is Bertana, and then round 2 is Maxi.
You deal with this, Maxi. I'm having a nap.
I'm gonna pyrite gun that dude just to get rid of him faster. Oh, I guess I'm full up on that. Where'd that spider go? There he is. There we go. So we just have to hit the trigger enemies and then we can get out of there quickly.
Taught me a lesson. Bullying is
This
only funny
fade
when it's not
out
happening
went
to you.
very weird. I'm not sure what happened there.
Hey, look. Oh,
Darn.
I'll leave it
I was
up
trying to
you.
get a journal hover here, but I goofed it. We're gonna do it here.
The terror has been captured.
Hit the end level trigger and we're done with Carnival.
Those hard drives. This is going to be a night you don't want to
So
forget.
lore-wise, we've been captured, and now we have to do a fight against
Gold split.
the Immaculate Strongo is his name.
Oi, look who's awake. You
So this whole level is basically just a long cutscene and a mini game. It's not like normal combat. It's literally like a mini game combat. But they're of course riffing on something here. I don't remember what. I think a commercial from like way back when. So this mini game fight's pretty easy. You just kind of have to pay attention to what he's doing, and you can react pretty quickly. It's a bit of a gimmicky fight more than anything else. But yeah, it's literally just mash left click, and then you just have to hit left or right at varying points to hit his broadside. We're gonna do this for a round, and then in the second round, they're gonna add an extra attack where I have to lean back to avoid it. But yeah, this is a great time to read a bunch of donations. Love how he bounces when he moves like that. This is the Mike Tyson fight.
Think about Immaculate Strongo will break you now.
Yeah, they make you lean back one time to start, and then they start throwing that attack into the mix. So best case RNG is him not doing that. Him actually letting you hit him 3 times before he attacks again. He'll let you hit him 0 to 3 times depending. He's being real stubborn and annoying right now. That's the fight.
The judges taking the Immaculate Strongo.
So yeah, this is about a minute-long cutscene that we have to sit through here. So another time to read off a couple donations.
And will be disqualified. Remember, folks, winners don't get caught using drugs.
They don't get caught.
What?
Yeah. Love his bouncy barbell too. Boing. I just heard a gun click and I'm not sure what that was from. Maybe it's loading your weapons in the background. I don't know. It's interesting.
All aboard.
So yeah, then we go into Grobia, which is the single most annoying level to route in this run. A little tiny gold split. Let's go. All right, yeah, Grobia was the level that inspired me to get the trainer made for this game because routing it was a nightmare.
Maxipede, what were you?
There's a slight journal hover here just to get past this part a little faster.
Now,
All right, now we're gonna do a skip called Wireless Steve.
Hey, could
You bring me Wired Steve.
Nope.
He's falling asleep again.
Yeah, we're supposed to go get Wired Steve, but we don't get Wired Steve, so the skip is called Wireless Steve. Shout outs to DE Cosmic for that one. Alright, we have to kill these two floaty enemies, because they will actually kind of make the next part of the skip really annoying if I don't kill them. Ooh. There we go.
Chill out, dudes.
All right.
You're getting it.
Cool, we got it. All right, so here's the big one. This skips the whole level, or just about.
Max, BT, so glad I ran into you.
So we're gonna float away from this conversation, and we're gonna head right to the end of the level. Now, we can't go straight to the end level trigger, unfortunately. We do have to do some things first. Let me count this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm gonna start spamming dash and spacebar at the same time, and we are headed right toward this spot. Now you see two buttons out of bounds here. This button disables a bunch of stuff in this part. This is the twin stick shooter section, and that second button prompts this part to start, which then begins the sequence of events to get to the end of the level. So this is the twin stick shooter section, and that first button that we pushed actually got these guys to spawn in and basically lets you skip most of the phases of the sequence, assuming it doesn't do the same thing it did last run. Okay, it didn't this time. Last run, for whatever reason, I had to do every section of this. It didn't like skip anything. I think it didn't register the first button press was what happened. But yeah, you're supposed to be doing fights in like each of these rooms. Yeah, we're going straight to the end. We have to do one fight. Now, I have to... This is not supposed to... All of these enemies are not supposed to be here. This is supposed to be... None of these enemies are supposed to be here. It's supposed to be just me and this ship. And like this tank. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, I can lose one weapon, that's fine, because I got an upgrade on it. I just need to make sure I don't lose another one, because I'll lose all my fire rate, and that would be really bad. There we go, we got an upgrade. There we go. Alright, so once we kill that ship, we are good to, so the thing, no, it's happened before, but it's pretty rare, and I'm not sure why it happens sometimes. There doesn't seem to be any good reason for it, but yeah. As you might imagine, this is a fight. And this is one of the toughest fights. We literally have to hold left click, and that's the whole fight. I'm gonna go out of my way for this ammo. Now, I have to journal buffer this, because if I don't, we will be soft locked. Because we have to get over this wall to get out of here. Now, it's pretty consistent to do that, but it's still a little scary. All right. We have to hit a trigger here.
And not a god left inside. I'm no candy rocket scientist.
And we're just hitting a series of triggers here. Now, we're on a 1-minute auto-scroller on this spot, so if you look at the timer,
in about 1 minute, this bad boy will be ready to go.
It says 1 minute. And it's literally on a minute timer, so she's gonna cycle her next bit of dialogue at 41:23 or 42:23. So 42:23, she's gonna say, "The rocket's done refueling, Maxie." And then fun fact about this fight, normally there is some health and ammo that infinitely spawns in over by the rocket. Yeah, we passed whatever trigger line gets that to happen, so that never spawns in. It spawns on those little stones right there. So since those aren't spawned in, I have to just literally run the clock out here. So I sometimes just KZ through here, because why not?
Hold out just a little
Not like you can do that on Unreal Engine, but yeah, anyways, you got time for a donation here. And 3, 2, 1.
The rocket's finished refueling.
A long second.
Grab on and hold tight.
And that is Grobia. That level was a nightmare to route. Did I have too much fun with this? You can't have too much fun with Bears in Space. That's the whole idea. Yeah, this one's going much better than the last one. Thank goodness. Look how much time that saved. And that still had a partial bug in the twin stick section. So again, just want to die as fast as possible on that level to skip to the next one. Now, Honey Factory actually has no skips. We actually have no skips for it. We can just kind of rush through a lot of sections, but there's actually no skips for this level. Funnily enough. So we're going to rush through here as quickly as possible for the sake of 1, saving time, and 2, my nose itches, and I need to get a hand free.
Good.
There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the guy that was working at the carnival. He's now working here. He works a lot of jobs. All right, we're going to...
Hey, Max. I can taste all the...
Darn it.
What the heck?
I'm hyped. You'll see.
Ew.
So I'm trying to do as many of these journal hovers as I can to kind of skip dialogue or not skip dialogue, but like move while dialogue is happening.
I'm bored.
So I guess those are skips in a sense. We couldn't do that on Gormak because for whatever reason, every piece of Gormak's dialogue warps you back in front of him to the starting point. Dialogue just does that sometimes for seemingly no reason. All right. So we're gonna rush through here now. If we end up doing an incentive called All Endings, there's an ending in this room that we'll have to show off. We're not gonna do it now because this is a PB attempt, but in the event that this gets into a marathon, that is an easy upgrade incentive to All Endings. Because every ending in this game is very, very tongue-in-cheek.
What I was expecting, but it wasn't this. I thought maybe at the very least it would have some educational stuff, but to not get to taste it.
All right, we're gonna do another journal buffer in a minute. That is actually a really nice one because it gets us here a little bit faster, which is nice. It does cause Bertana's dialogue to overlap though, and that's kind of annoying. Now we're gonna do our second sequence as Bertana. Whoa. Forgot it does this if you do that. It'll correct itself in a second. Yeah, there we go.
Power up.
All right, so we got another fight here as Bertana. You also notice some of Bertana's combat moves represent a Hadouken and Shoryuken. And that is very much on purpose. The Shoryuken unfortunately has kind of mixed results on slopes, but right, there's that fight. We're gonna move on to the next one. Got a small skip here, not a big deal skip, but something. We're gonna jump up here, and then we can skip right up this wall. Saves us the trouble of having to run around. Yeah, those first few runs feel real good. And then you get an optimized time, and then it feels real bad. So we got a Mr. Bouncy here. This is the fight from earlier, you'll remember. This one's a lot weaker because he's just a mini boss now, but he's not even really a mini boss, it's just a heavy. Alright, we're gonna do the Shoryuken now because we're on flat ground. Those guys warp, so you want to try and hit them as quickly as possible. Alright, so we're gonna skip this room for the most part. We're not actually doing a skip here. We're just gonna kind of run past everything and get through it as quickly as we can. But we need to get up there, and the only way to get up there is to do a whole lot of platforming around. Oh, almost got it. Yeah, some platforms, if you land on the corner, you can kind of keep jumping to get over them. It's a little tough to do sometimes, but it's nice when you can actually pull it off. So this is a little side mission that they put in each level, or most levels. We've got another fight here, just because we can't journal hover out of this. We're gonna send 2 Kumino Kens over to that guy. I'm out of energy. Yeah, you can only do some of these attacks so many times before you have to recoup your energy. I think that's everyone. Something's alive. There it is. Got him. And then that will lower the force field. There we go. And then we have to wait for this platform. There, maybe we could hit it if we like dash immediately after the force field drops, but I haven't tested that out yet. So, all right. Now we are going to go into another boss fight. Unfortunately, that we cannot skip. In any percent, this fight takes a very long time, but in New Game Plus, we have the Pyrite gun, which makes this fight go a lot faster.
Ow, my ankle.
To double check that I have ammo. Pretty sure I had the ammo for it, but wanted to make sure. So this is Metal Bear Zero. I'm gonna wait till I know for sure he'll take the shot and then shoot him. He has iframes for a section after the fight starts, and you're gonna be very sad if you go to take a shot and doesn't work. There we go. So each of these pickups has 1 pyrite bullet in it, which is why I'm grabbing them. Interesting. A bunch of the bears turned invisible. I have not seen that before, and you can chalk that up as a he said the thing. All right, there we go. I got my ammo back for this. All right, so now he's gonna spawn in here. I have to just take out enough of this force field to get the pyrite shot in. Darn. Can I? Yeah, I can just do that pretty quickly. All right.
Max, it's gonna go.
And that's the end of the fight.
We gotta stop it.
Upgraded Gatling gun is so good. All right, not a gold, but still pretty good fight.
That honey ain't free.
And I'm pretty sure this is a Metal Gear Solid 4 or 5 reference. Although I'm not sure exactly. Slight time loss there, but not enough to be concerned about.
Oh, losing time.
All right, then we get into Lonely Road. This whole level is nearly an auto-scroller, but basically we've been separated from Bertano, so we are exclusively playing as Maxi. We can no longer dash. We can only barely jump. And we have to do a fight against Quasic, who is going to be slightly violating copyright infringement laws.
Captains, if I don't...
By the way, the voice actor for Maxi is Gianni Montegrano, who some of you should know. We can barely jump. Silverwolf, I'm going to ban you. So the fight against Quasic's pretty straightforward. You just have to karate chop him a bunch. So what we're gonna actually do, this first phase doesn't have any like real manipulation to it. It's just smack him. Probably should actually manip him over here a little bit just to kind of get him into place, but we can't really save much time on this because we get warped back to that spot kind of no matter what we do.
Mike, now to...
All right, so here we're basically going to be constructing a weapon, and we need some dynamite
ought to blow them rocks up good.
in order to blow up these rocks, in order to get in here, because we need to use this dynamite to get this dynamite.
Just what I need. This should provide some extra firepower.
Yeah. All right, so now we got round 2 with Quasic.
Beast does not relent.
So I'm going to try to manip him over this way as much as I can. So I'm trying to get him to punch in this direction, because the closer he is over here, the shorter of a distance he has to run to break down this boulder. So it's a little time save there.
Lost.
So now we're going to pick up this machine gun.
Useless
This is
on
the
its
next
own, but it
piece
could
of the
conceivably still
weapon
be
that we
integrated into a makeshift
need.
Quasic.
And we're doing round 3, and round 3 is the same as round 2, where we're going to try to manipulate Quasic to punch in a certain direction. To get him over here a little faster, and that shortens the distance he has to run. And then we're going to do a very annoying mini game that I hate so much, but we have to do it. So we're going to pick up this sword, and then this rock is going to move out of the way for us, and we're going to get a workbench where we make a weapon.
Time to assemble a...
Come on. Oh, I hit the wrong button there. That was me. There we go. All right, so we've been gathering a bunch of pieces to create a weapon this entire time. Now, you might be wondering what this weapon looks like now that we've constructed it. You're about to see it.
Time.
Is it overkill? Yeah, a bit.
In the end, I can't get time.
Oh, Quasic's in the way. All right, now we are on a literal auto-scroller because it's you just hold down forward the entire time for this. You just hold down forward. If you hit left or right...
There's no sidestepping this situation. I have to press on.
Or if you press backward. Oh, he's not saying it. Weird. He normally has a piece of dialogue he says there if you try to hold backward. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. But yeah, this is literally just, I'm holding forward and I'm mashing spacebar to skip the dialogue bits that are going to start like right here.
Bertana, where are you?
But literally, you cannot do anything to like steer Maxi in any different direction. It's just, I mean, this is about as close to an auto-scroller as you can get, aside from like a rail section that's coming up in the next level.
I must press on.
Today,
Distract.
dang,
I decide.
I should have. There's only gonna be 3 more at the orphanage tonight.
That is probably the darkest joke they tell in this whole game. We'll probably have the host read a donation over that one because that's a bit dark.
Captain, with this.
Hopefully people don't catch that one during the run.
Wherever you.
So we had a car, but we destroyed it. But yeah, just continuing to hold forward. It's about a minute more of this, so yeah, this is a great time for some donations.
In the distance, a building looms, yet makes no weave. Could Bertana be there?
No idea, Max, but this is my stop. Good luck, old friend.
I must press on.
This level's a long cutscene.
Hey there, Maxie, how you
Very
doing?
long cutscene.
You were sleeping like a baby, so I thought I'd check out some of the local sites. By the way, you left your guns behind, you silly goose. I picked them up for you. All right, let me quickly piggyback on your back
silly
again.
goose.
Let's get out of here.
And that is Lonely Road.
Oh, losing time.
The spaceport ascent's a pretty long level, but we luckily, because we have the Pyrite gun, we were going to be able to go through some of it a little faster, hopefully.
Hey, Max. Welcome. It's this. That's the
Genius.
Yeah. And real. Spend.
You're not supposed to be that close to him, but we did because we got a journal hover. All right. So I bought some ammo because we're going to be doing a few fights, especially one that's in this room right here.
Look out.
You're supposed to be dead, buddy. All right. So we have probably one of the scariest parts in the run, because I can die pretty easily in the spot coming up, and that will lose some time. Come on, hit the button. Gonna buy a little bit of ammo just to kind of refill the supply. Ooh, nice. Okay, so if that guy grabs you, you can get up here a little bit faster, which is very, very cool. All right, so we have to use the dial-a-bot on this thing. And I can't. Okay, I can see. What is pushing me? Okay, I just gotta not die until this door lowers. Whoa! Oh, that was close. That's what I mean about scary. So now we're gonna meet a character named Yo-Dog.
Dang, it's been
Why is he called Yo-Dog? By the way, that character is also voiced by Gianni Montegrano. This is information I feel you all need to know. The man has range. Come on, dude, die, please. That's phase one of the fight done, or not phase one. That's the whole fight. Then we've got a cutscene here where Yo-Dog is brutally murdered and is leaking motor oil all over the place.
I'll see you in the third DLC. For real this time.
And then we are heading into the only Bergera sequence that we are actually going to see in this run because we skipped all the other ones.
Cheese and crackers, Bergera's sighted in the waters. Cheese and crackers.
Yeah, what's everyone's favorite snack food?
Cheese and crackers, he's looking at the beige house. Beige house is another one about it. Not the president has been
It's a beige house down.
We still have the vice president. Get him to safety. No, the vice president is being killed. We still have the secretary of snacks.
Come on.
Well, the secretary of snacks has been killed.
So we had to kill the president, the vice president, and the secretary of snacks in order to lower that wall. Not a sentence you thought you'd hear today when you woke up, but here you are. Yeah, now we have the second to last boss fight. This is a really cool boss fight. This is actually a very creative one that I think is probably my favorite in the whole game. Because it's such a creative way to set up a fight. It's certainly not the only time this has ever been done in like a game, but it's just very, very clever the way they did this. So you're Maxi, you're gonna fight that robot, but you're gonna fight that robot from the robot's perspective. So I have to kind of like watch the robot's arms to avoid getting hit. Yep, just like that. Yep, and then he's guaranteed to do this at least once or twice, unfortunately. Oh shoot, I got it. I got greedy. Oh darn. Mr. Wit, hello, welcome. Yep, I'm getting sloppy now because I'm just anxious to finish the fight. I just have to hit him one more time. That's the fight. There we go. Yeah, it's a gimmicky fight, and it's slow, but it's very creative. I give Garth a lot of credit for that one. Very creative fight. All right, so we're gonna be outside again. We grab some ammo. Luckily, we can kind of run past most of this, but we do need to do a little platforming. Move. All right, you're supposed to run up all those side platforms, but you can actually grab it from down here, which is a little convenient. Save some platforming effort. All right, so we're gonna get another fight up ahead after we kind of do a bunch of platforming navigation here. Whoop. All right, we have to use the Dial-A-Bot again. Oh shoot, oh crap. Well, I did this very slowly because I goofed it up. And the hitboxes on these arrows are not always the nicest. All right, so we've got a fight here. Okay, I think that's... Oh, got one more. Cool. Took a lot of health. A lot of health damage there, but... Alright, climb over here, get into this elevator slightly early. And then we are on a literal rail shooter. There's nothing I can do to speed this up. Hitting all the targets doesn't make you go faster. It's just... there's nothing else to do here, so I go for the targets. So this is the kind of thing where if this were to get into a marathon, we wanted to do a channel points bet for does Dane hit all 39 targets, you could do that. That would be a bet we could place. Actually got that target without being able to see it. Oop, I missed that one. Yeah, some of these targets cannot be hit at certain angles. It's very odd. Out of 39. All I'm saying is, since I've started doing the speed run for this, I've literally never once not gotten all 39. So if you're a doubter, you may lose some channel points. That's all I'm saying. All right. I have to do the journal buffer on this one to reload checkpoint. For whatever reason, if you do the journal buffer initially, it doesn't work. You have to load checkpoints and then it works. You could do it before, but you can't move. It's very strange. So now we are going to float. That gets us. Oops, I did not get all the way up here. There we go. So we do a little journal hover there to get around about a 3-minute fight, and then we're going to go into the last fight of the level, and this is a big honking fight. This is a massive one. So I am definitely going to go out of my way for some ammo. And this music, by the way, is not supposed to be playing here. It plays because we did that skip. Yeah, big long fight. Perfect time for donations. There we go. And that is the end of the level. And then we go into Spaceport, which is the very last level with the last boss fight.
Hey, look! Yeah.
So we gotta stop and get a ticket. Gonna grab this ammo. Slight time loss on getting that ammo, but it gives me the pyrite gun ammo, which is what I need. So it's actually a time save. You lose a little bit of time here to save a lot of time later. This pilot is wigging out, man. He's going nuts. All right, so the final boss is this guy, the valet. Oh, he did it again. There's a point where he has iframes, and it's very annoying. There we go. All right, so that skips that whole fight. So he's destroying those platforms, which gives us time to take out these UFOs. And then we're going to pull out the heat ray because this is going to help us take out the buses that are going to be floating around him in the next part. So he is completely protected right now until we take out these buses. So your arm, there we go. In 80%, this fight takes a lot longer because we have not only fewer weapons, we have less ammo capacity, and we are missing the rocket launcher, and none of our weapons are upgraded. So it is quite cursed. There we go.
All right, let's finish this guy off. I just got an idea. Get me in that cannon. All right, get me in this
This
thing.
takes us to the very last sequence. We're gonna launch into the bot, very similar to the end of Shadow Warrior 3. Gonna line up here, do a Shoryuken to cycle that first phase as quickly as possible. And then we're mostly just holding right click as we walk up to enemies in order to kill them. It's not a terribly difficult thing to do. Come on. Do the thing. There we go. Okay, that should be everything. Of course, there's one guy hiding out. And then you'll remember this guy from the very first level.
Really? After you bud, these.
Oh, yeah? Well, I never apologized.
So I'm just gonna stand in front of him and bear Fu, and he eventually will die. Just like that. So now we're just gonna do some cleanup on the rest of the enemies that spawn in. And then once everything is dead, one enemy alive. We bear Fu the heart, and that is not the last input. We still have to sit through a cutscene.
Come help me out, Max. This. What the?
So yeah, this is just a very silly cutscene, but time is going to be coming up in about a minute when I interact with the last rocket.
No! That was a really nice bus you just blew up. Well, that's it. We finally.
So because there's nothing else to do here besides wait through this dialogue, I like to Casey here as well.
Stopping us from finally going back to Earth. Now, it's for you, Max.
This is now.
They'll have to.
Sit tight and watch the skies. Rescue is here. Climb up.
Hey, Max.
No.
Yeah.
All right, time's coming up in a second. As soon as we interact with that rocket right there.
Ready?
In the distance.
Stand.
Time.
Personal best. That dangerous is a menace.
And that is Bears in Space. A very, 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 very silly game. Yeah, that's New Game Plus. 80% is about 20-ish minutes longer. I had to make a guess. Just like as an estimate. So we will be submitting both of those. And hopefully we get one of them in.